Okay, so we're going to be doing a volar splint, which is a splint that goes along the volar aspect of the arm. This is usually done for people who have just had an injury, usually show up to urgent care or the ED, and then they'll put them in a splint if they've had a fracture kind of along the mid wrist around here or mid forearm. And this is usually done before when you go to surgery or orthopedics to get casted. This is for initial injury before it gets taken off, maybe like a week later. So things you'll need is still the thumb sock here and then the wrist sock. It's very similar to a short arm cast minus the fiberglass. You just use ortho glass on that. Okay. So I always start with some web roll here. You start at the wrist and then work my way up. And just rip away where you need. Some web roll is easier to rip than others. And then just work your way down. You want to be careful of some of these bulges because they can be uncomfortable to the patient later on. And then just wrap down. That first layer done, and then next is the orthoglass. I usually, before I start any of this, I usually measure the patient's arm with a piece of web roll just to see how long of fiberglass you need. So typically, again, it will go from the endocubital fossa up to kind of that first MCP joint there. So I usually cut that and then measure orthoglass there. And I'll bring the camera over here. And we'll see the orthoglass already here that I already cut. Scissors. So with orthoglass, it's usually kind of padding around the orthoglass itself. And so I usually cut just a little bit shorter than that, just so it's more comfortable for the patient and they don't have a hard orthoglass jabbing into them. And then, so just cut that shorter and pull the cotton here. And same on the other side. So here it is. It's a little bit shorter, and again, just pull. And so with this one, you do want to wet the orthoglass here. Typically, you get some sort of towel. You can wring it. Unfortunately, I don't have a towel, so it's gonna wring it with my hands here. So now that it's wet, it will start to harden. Just kind of fix this here. Perfect. So we'll bring, and you need 2 A-straps as well. And then just bring your web roll because you'll use a little of it. Bring it over here. So, volar here, just want to hug the patient's arm. That, and then I usually, just to hold the orthoglass in place, I usually just put a little wrap with the web roll just to hold it in place. And at this point, you'll use your case wrap. And it doesn't really matter where you start for this one. You do want to pull this. And capture, just to make it look cleaner. And then work your way up. At this point, I'm just adding a little tension. I'm not laying it, but I'm also not yanking on it. Just a little tension to keep it tight. And then this point, kind of bring all these other points down. Get your second piece. So at this point, again, like with any cast, you kind of want to push on the palmar crease here, and then just continue to kind of hug to support the forearm with the orthoglass that you're using until it's hard. You don't have to do as much molding kind of compared to a cast, but you do want to make sure it's still going to be hard. Again, it still takes a couple minutes for it to actually harden. For time purposes, we'll just pretend like this is already hardened. That's because it's going to take a little bit of time, but this is pretty much what a volar splint will look like. It's pretty much a piece of orthoglass along the volar aspect of your forearm here. And again, this is mainly for newly diagnosed like fractures, injuries along the forearm over here, or maybe even distal forearm. And this is before you go into surgery, before you go into orthopedics. This is normally done at the urgent care or emergency department. Thank you.